Everybody talks about bad vocal habits, but nobody actually explains what they are. So I'm gonna do that for you today. The first thing I'll say is most bad vocal habits are actually extremely visual. There's a visual cue to them. The most obvious is going to be jaw tension, which usually manifests itself in the jaw shaking. So you're going to see somebody singing going like, ah, or they have vibrato and their vibrato matches to their jaw movement. The reason this is bad is because it basically means the voice is getting stuck in their jaw and it's not going out, which is what it needs to be doing. It basically builds more tension where there doesn't need to be tension. And the more tension you have, the worse your singing is, and the worse it's going to be long term. The worse your vocal longevity is as well. The next very obvious thing is going to be when someone's singing and their jaw juts out. So I'm talking, it's going to be like a ah, but for whatever reason, that jaw sticking out is their imagination telling them that they're supporting their voice. There are three main places that we hold tension as singers, and that's going to be your neck, your jaw, and your tongue. Those three areas just kind of get in the way. If you don't know how to relax them and engage your core to sing, engage your breath to sing, and actually sing with your vocal cords and with your air, you're going to compensate by putting too much tension in those zones. The neck, when there's too much tension in the neck, you're going to usually see like a giant vein popping out. Incorrect breathing is also really obvious to see. It usually looks something like anytime you see shoulders lifting when you're breathing, that's a bad habit. It basically means you're not taking a full enough breath, and once again, you sing on your breath. You sing with your breath. If your breath is shallow, if your breath is constrained, if you're taking like a constricting breath, so you're like, you might be, while you're breathing, constricting your throat. It's very important that the breath stay relaxed, and it's also a very deep breath, so it goes throughout like your entire lung capacity, which is more than you think it is. And also a different feeling from like when you go on a run. Sometimes when we're running, we actually don't use the full lung capacity either. The next bad habit is going to be your tongue shaking. This is something that I struggle with, honestly, and it's very hard to get rid of once you have it. And it just goes back to the same thing, which is that you're supporting with your tongue. There's the tongue and then the root of your tongue. So when you're singing and the tongue is involved, it's going to look like this. You see it kind of like shaking in the back of my throat. It should not be doing that. What it feels like to me is like a more comfortable place to sing. It feels like I'm singing into a pillow. It feels very safe, but actually sometimes a better sound feels more dangerous. And so yeah, I'm working on getting rid of that like comfortable sound and putting myself more in the vulnerable sound position. Anyway, enough about me. The next bad habit is going to be involving your face too much. This is mostly important if you're like a professional singer and you're singing a love scene and you look like this the whole time, which I'm totally guilty of doing. Such a bad habit, oh my god. And finally, if your throat hurts during or after singing, horrible habit, stop singing. It should not hurt. If it hurts, seek professional help.